Hi, I am Anna. I come from www.ntvforex.com. The FEDA's shift reverberates markets a US dollar on a roller coaster analysis. http ntvforex.com News ID 6E3CB78282026 42:1 AM Markets Fed Chair Powell announced the central bank will seek inflation that averages 2% over time rather than just aiming for 2% on a bygones basis. With the policy shift, inflation is allowed to overshoot the 2% target but moderately and temporarily, soothing any market fears of runaway inflation. At the same time, it means no monetary tightening for a long time to come. Powell also announced a more general objective regarding a broad-based and inclusive employment. He refrained from setting an unemployment target though. Powell, but also other Fed members following the speech including Kaplan, did seek to downplay the fixed character of this new framework, saying it's not a formula neither a commitment. U.S. yields traded volatile but eventually soared 6.4 bps 10-year to 9.7 bps 30-year higher. Interestingly, the upward pressure came from rising real yields this time rather than building inflation expectations. The US 10-year yield neared the upper bound of the broader 0.54%–0.78% trading range. The German Bund added 2.4 bps at the very long end of the curve. The US dollar sat on a roller coaster. EUR/USD jumped towards the 1.19 big figure shortly after Powell's announcement only to decline sharply towards 1.176 in the minutes thereafter. The pair eventually closed only slightly lower in the 1.182 area, down from 1.183. Gains versus the Japanese yen were more obvious, with USD/JPY jumping from 106 to 106.57. EUR/GBP suffered from the shockwaves in EUR/USD, briefly dipping below key support at 0.8945 but closing just above eventually. The Fed's shift reverberates through Asian markets as well. US yields continue to advance up to 4 bps, taking other yields including Australia in its slipstream. Japanese yields rise 2.6 bps at the long end of the curve, even as PM Abe announced his resignation. Stocks in Japan underperform this morning 1%. After holding up rather well yesterday, the greenback is now struggling quite hard. USD/JPY falls to 106.4. USD/CNY continues its losing streak 6.877. The PBOC for a second day straight set the fixing rate for the yuan weaker than expected. EUR/USD surges towards 1.187. Barring EMU economic confidence expected to increase from 82.3 to 85, the echo calendar is empty. The Fed's regime change is to dominate European trading. The significant US bear steepening will probably also push German yields higher, an effect we also witnessed during Asian dealings. We're a bit more cautious on further increases in US rates with US yields nearing important resistance levels, the upward potential of real yields still limited and the Fed still very much present. In this respect, the dollar could remain weak. EUR 1.1916 US dollars is the first, but probably very solid, resistance. The British currency trades quite strong recently, holding near important resistance levels to the euro at around EUR 0.895 pounds sterling. Today's BOE Governor Bailey's speech at the symposium will be key. Any hint on the mere possibility of negative rates could force sterling to rethink the recent strengthening and push EUR/GBP back higher towards 0.90, where we think the currency belongs from a more fundamental perspective. NBSP News headlines: Japanese public broadcaster NHK confirmed this morning rumors that Japanese PM Abe would quit because of health reasons. He doesn't want his personal issues to conflict with governing. Abe will give more details at a press conference scheduled for 10 a.m. set. The Japanese yen strengthens in a first reaction with USD/JPY moving to the low 106 area. Japanese stocks lose over 1%. ECB Villeroy de Galhau that the ECB's policy review could also change the way it defines its mandate of maintaining price stability after years of undershooting the below, but close to 2% goal. ECB chief economist Lane stressed the central bank's two-stepped approach once the negative shock has been sufficiently offset, The second stage is to ensure that the post-pandemic monetary policy stance is appropriately calibrated in order to ensure timely convergence to our medium-term inflation aim. Download the full Sunrise Market Commentary. Subscribe our channel to receive the news as soon as possible. Thank you for watching. If you want to read real-time news, text messages to MT5 Expert Advisors page at https://m.me/mt5.expert.advisors.